All right, guys, what's going on? Brandon Bordanson here, CEO and founder of Seamless.ai. I'm here with my good friend Oliver Chapman with the Chapman Group, right?
Yep.
And Oliver and I know each other because Oliver is one of the top investor real estate brokers and personal real estate investors here in Columbus, Ohio. Awesome. Thanks for having us. And we're launching a new fund together where we're going to start investing in multifamily real estate together because we want to put our sales commissions into property. But dude, so as you've been growing this brokerage, because like you crushed it as a single realtor.
Did residential sales, still do residential sales for 5 years, but a real passion is helping investors. I have a lot of young friends hitting their stride in their careers and making some good money and trying to think long-term how to leverage that money into making more money. And one of the most proven models to do that has always been real estate. So you've been my friend for a long time. We've talked about it, and today is the day that we finally just said, screw it. We're gonna just jump in and let's just start investing.
So we just built a group of 5 core key investors. I'm handling all the negotiations and the operations. Oliver's handling the investment, finding the investor, negotiations, acquisitions. Danielle, my fiance, who's a bankruptcy attorney, she's going to be looking at different deals in different markets that are hot, based on turnover. And then our 2 other partners are just doctors who want to give us some cash.
Yeah, and like we said, it's just the perfect type of passive investors who are making good money and want to park it somewhere that's going to grow. So they leveraged it to us, and we're going to help them make it grow.
But let's put that shit aside.
Yep.
So we're going to put that shit aside because we were just talking, which I wanted to get it on camera. What are the struggles that you're dealing with right now?
Struggles just internally.
Like social, like growing your business. Like you were just saying, like, dude, you just had this revelation. Like, talk to me. Let's dive right into it.
Sure. So, like any other business owner, as a residential agent, I am a business owner. I'm responsible for
entrepreneur.
Responsible for building my own content, building my sales team. A lot of different challenges in setting up operations in a business and marketing, and you start wearing a lot of hats, and there's a limited belief where a lot of these things that you've never done before. So there's a lot of tasks that I take on. Okay, should I keep talking?
Yeah.
All right.
Keep talking.
So a lot of these tasks that you've never done before, and I started finding myself going online in the world and watching other entrepreneurs and figuring out what are the best steps, how they did things, and all of a sudden, before you know it, you become into an information paralysis. And for the past probably year and a half, I was just in an information paralysis because there was just so much content.
Kept taking it all in. Fuck.
And then you sit back and there was no action to all that information that you took in. Yeah. And the only way you're ever going to learn is just through application. So it doesn't matter how bad you fall or fail the first time. We've heard it many, many times. It's what did you learn when you made that mistake? And you won't hurt yourself twice. You will not make the same mistake twice. And sometimes you do, but it gets more and more painful the more and more times you make the same mistake.
Yeah.
So and I've just learned to be more hyper aware, and I have to be very hyper aware of what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis and making sure everything I'm doing is purposeful to my business, to my lifestyle.
Yeah. And the purpose part, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt.
That's fine. No, go ahead.
I was going to say the purpose part, and I wish we had it on camera because we were talking about this new sales influencer that you found, Brian
Casello.
Yeah. He's got about 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I don't know anything. I never heard of this guy, but he sounds to be pretty big in real estate sales.
Yeah, he's a young guy out of California, 32 years old. Basically, 5 years ago, got a real estate license, and right out of the gate, just went door knocking. I mean, you only love door knocking.
Dude, that's how you started.
That's how I started.
You were knocking cable.
Yeah, I did cable sales for 4 years.
Dude, and you want to know about a fucking hustle? Get up and go outside and go start knocking on doors, selling cable, security, What are some of the other things
they
that guys
do
sold?
knives,
vacuums,
cleaners.
Kirby vacuum cleaners.
Yeah, done it all. And I always have a soft spot for those guys who come and knock my door. It's amazing.
But dude, that taught you how to hustle, pitch, and close people in real time right in front of their face. I remember when you did that.
Yeah.
Because I did my first company, the poker gig. Then I did the second company where I lost everything. And that was like when I got my experience in sales. And then I went and sold for IBM Interactive. And when I was doing at IBM Interactive, you did the door-to-door shit. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I remember always saying, like, I never thought I was better than you. I never thought anything. I was like, dude, that guy is going to learn how to sell. Because if you can go fucking up to someone's door, knock on it, and pitch them, I hope everyone that wanted to go into sales did that.
Well, I think Mark Cuban said, if he was broke, they said, well, what's the first thing you would do if you were broke? Yep. He goes, I find a product and I go door to door.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's exactly what he would do if he lost everything.
Dude, unbelievable. I totally remember that. But we were talking about being purposeful. Sorry, to get back on topic. So being purposeful, and I said, I'm so purposeful with everyone around me. And the first thing we were talking about haters, because Oliver's dealt with haters. And I'm like, dude, I have so many people that bring me up and that love what I'm trying to do. I'm on a mission to positively impact 1 billion people. I want to help the 1 billion people maximize their health, wealth, and potential. I was like, on that mission, I encounter so many haters. And I'm so purposeful about the people around me in my network that I immediately block any of the haters. Like, I don't want everyone to agree with me. No. But like, you can disagree respectfully and share your point of view. Yeah. But if you're just a troll, I fucking hit the block button on LinkedIn and you're dead to me. Why? Because I'm on this massive, purposeful, positively impact 1 billion people, and I don't have any time to like listen or focus on any haters.
You got to imagine, if you ever go online, you look at the top influencers who always have some type of story or background or just positive information to give. And you can go through any of their comment sections and you find there's 1 or 2 people who take, and I learned this from Brian Casella, and I started noticing this more and more.
I'm just seeing how this looks.
They can take the most good of good information and intentions, and they can somehow manifest that into twist it into something negative.
They'll talk shit. Anthony, you're welcome. Thank you for dropping off the book. Obviously, you're kind of like our sponsor for this evening, because we got the book sharing it.
Which I'm going to read, by the way.
Yeah. Anthony, I was just telling Oliver he's got to pick up your book around the competition and the only sales guide you'll ever need. Dude, but that's why, like, I said, anyone more successful than you will never criticize you and hate on you. I have never once met someone 10 times more successful than me reach out and talk shit and hate on me.
Yeah, you won't find them hanging
They're
out.
too fucking busy in their goddamn lane. They're not... Dude, I don't have time to talk shit about you.
No.
Period. Like, and you don't have time to talk shit about me. Because we're trying to build our businesses. And I told you, I was like, dude, don't worry about anyone that's hating on you. Because they are just pissed. And you agreed. Like, they're just pissed that they're not doing something that you're doing.
Yeah, they're pissed they're seeing somebody take action with their life. And that's what they're really pissed about. And I almost feel sorry for them, because you have to be in a really bad place in your mind to see somebody else who's trying to make it for themselves and just the blood, sweat, and tears that they're trying to do, and just try to tear them down. And so their house is not kept. Their inner soul, there's something wrong. And that's why I feel sorry for them.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to bring somebody else down. And we don't see that. We don't see, our most successful influencers spending time tearing other people down.
No.
Even their competitors.
I post a lot about this.
Yeah.
I post a lot about this because, like, there was a time in my life where, like, my first business that did the 1 million, the 3 million, the 6 million in sales, when I was a freshman, junior, sophomore, junior, a few of my best friends were talking shit about me to my fiance, who was my girlfriend at the time.
Oh, man.
Like, oh, Brandon doesn't really run a business. His family, had a lot of money. And like, she knows, like, my family came from fucking dirt poor. My family didn't give me shit. And I went knocking doors, dorm to dorm room, selling people on my company to have them sign up for the solution that I offered, and built this massive company. And they were like, oh, he doesn't really run a company. I know this guy who runs a real company. And, like, they were my best fucking friends. And at that point in time, when I was a junior in college, I said, no more. Anyone that is negative, anyone that doesn't support me, anyone. And I don't care if you're my dad, my sister, my mom, my cousin, my uncle, my best friend, my fucking hater, my mentor. If you don't support me on my mission of what I'm trying to do, which is a mission tied to really positively impacting a lot of people.
Yeah, sounds like...
I don't fucking want to talk to you. I don't want to look at you. I don't want to think about you. I don't want you in my life. And that was like one of the top, definitely the top 5 things I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
Was to not let negative people hold me back from going to where I need to go.
Yeah.
Even my fiance's father would criticize me, and she's going to be pissed I say this. My fiance's father would criticize me about working so hard. You're going to be on your deathbed wishing you didn't work as much. No, let me tell you something. I'm going to be on my fucking deathbed when I look back and I see I only impacted 10,000 people, not 100,000,
well,
not a million.
Nobody works harder than you do. And there's been times where I have felt, I was worried about you. But then that was, again, that was actually me criticizing your work ethic. And then I saw how freaking hard you work 7 days a week. When I say 7 days a week, the kid doesn't take a day off. Because we've tried to do things on the weekend, but it's like, man, we got to schedule for it. And then the weekend comes and it's like, well, I'm working, and then work gets away. We're too tired. But then it really opened my eyes to that work ethic, and I try to emulate
it.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about that because you were in that situation, right? And I don't hold that against you at all, right? Like, again, like anyone that criticizes you, you got to get in a mindset of like, don't hold it against them. You just I'm so focused on my lane that anyone that would criticize me, I'm just too focused on my mission, so I don't pay attention to it. But like, why do you try to bring yourself back to that state when you were like, man, like I'm worried he's gonna get burnt? Like, what were you thinking? What caused that? Like, talk to me about it, because I'm curious.
Right, because I was just
like this is by the way, Oliver is like one of my best friends. We don't really see each other anymore at all because we work so much now on building our companies.
I already figured it out. It comes down to one thing. Your goals were bigger than mine. So when I was, a few years ago, I was figuring out, my own career, and before I got into real estate, I was doing door to door, but I didn't want to do that forever. You just had much bigger goals. So then when I saw you, when you have goals that big, you got to put in a lot of work and time and effort and just trial and error. So I didn't have those goals yet. So I just saw somebody who was like working themselves to death. Then over the years, my goals started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I started realizing how much I don't have time to waste. I mean, the day is so short. It's amazing. Like, if you do not get your day started off, that's why we, powerful morning routine and things like that. But if your day does not start the right way, you only have just so many hours of the day.
Damn, so you think it was like, and when I started CMLS, I'm back to working like 18 hours a day now, probably like 15 to 18, and then I was doing that for like 3 years straight when I launched the company. I was working probably like 12 to 15 hours when I was the top 1% of the top 1% salespeople selling for Google and IBM, but never as hard as when I launched the company. You think it was because like I had this I had this huge goal and I had to get to it, and like you wanted to make like 6 figures.
And you know where you came from, and you launched one company that's successful, the next company doesn't do successful, so you the startup game and how hard that is. So I think you were
don't ever do a startup. If you want to make 10x less for 2 to 5 years, then do a startup. Okay, like a lot of people think they'll do a startup and they'll become rich in a year or 6 months. And let me just tell you, like, you're totally wrong. That will never happen. You're gonna have to give up everything: relationships, hobbies, you're going to have to give up the majority of everything that you want to do if you want to build a really successful company, which most people underestimate.
Let me lay down a quote. This is a really good quote I heard
Sweet.
by Tom Brady a couple months ago.
And that guy's a game changer. Anyone that criticizes Tom Brady,
Oh, yeah, he's
again, people are
greatest
criticizing
of all
Tom
time,
Brady.
and they want to bring down Tom Brady. And
People criticize him because they want to be him.
I do. But
I want to be Tom Brady.
Tom's quote was, he said, if you want to compete with me, you better be willing to give up your life because I've already given up mine.
Yep.
I mean, that's like the most profound quote, and he said it with such conviction. I mean, I got chills when I heard that.
Dude, I watched his documentary on Facebook.
Yeah, that was the one. That's the where I saw the quote.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's a game changer. Time vs. Tom.
Time versus Tom.
Time
And
vs. Tom is a game changer.
that guy is 24/7 about his craft.
You have to be working on your craft all the time. That's why, like, I'm posting so many videos. My brain, I now wake up at like 3:30 or 4, and like Danielle, my fiance, is like, go back to bed. You don't need to be up yet. And like my brain's like, it's already thinking about like sales, what I got to do here, what I got to do to train the sales team, this client that I got to close, this sales script, this sales pitch, this follow up, because like but it took me. This doesn't just develop like overnight. It takes you like years to develop like I study the billionaires. The billionaires are so obsessed with their time. Like their calendar is by the 10-minute block, the 15-minute block.
But you think because they are billionaires.
Because you need to be so obsessed with their time.
But with the time, but think if you're a billionaire, how much is your time worth? It's worth a lot of money. So that's why
you got to protect it.
You got to protect it.
Got to protect it.
And honestly, that was this year. And I had a sales meeting back at the office a couple weeks ago, and I said I'm sick at how much money I lost this year because I wasn't protecting my time.
Oh my God!
I was taking too many appointments. I was taking too many.
Wasn't it hard for you to tell who's qualified? Because like anyone could call you and be like, "Yeah, I want to buy a house."
Yeah, and I had to get better. I have to get better and better at being able to qualify.
Discovery.
And I call them my ideal client avatar. So I have in my mind like, who is my ideal client avatar?
Yeah.
I'll work with anybody.
And we call it like in B2B sales, we call it a.
I will work with anybody
ideal
that
client profile.
Has a profile, meaning they respect my time. And they respect when they come to, if I'm going to schedule a buyer's consultation with them, they show up on time. You'd be surprised how many people stand me up on those buyer's consultations.
I'd probably block them.
And I'm not going to work with that person because I know down the road, once we get into the process of buying a home, and
open
we're going to
houses,
go contract to close, if they can't be accountable, then I'm not going to be able to actually help them because they can't help themselves.
Yeah.
And the information I have is valuable. So when you have a buyer's consultation with me, I'm going to actually show you in the process of buying real estate how I'm going to save you thousands of dollars and get you in the home, your dream home. But to some people, I don't know, it doesn't quite resonate with them and why that's important, but they haven't met me yet. So again, but they don't meet my ideal client avatar. So if they stand me up on that first appointment, I'm not going to really go out of my way to schedule that second appointment.
Yeah.
Unless it was, there's.
What did you have to change? I'm just curious. So like, because discovery, right? Discovery, and like the first thing I do when I'm giving a sales pitch, I'll do introductions. Mm-hmm. I have an acronym. It's it's 6 letters, DCPs. I forget what it is, but discovery. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, compliment. So my pitch process, I'm going to give this away to everyone. Compliment. Before I meet you or pitch you, I research you and I find something to compliment about you.
Yes.
Because I believe in bringing people up and being positive and complimenting people for what they're doing positively in the world.
Yes.
And that builds good rapport.
Yes.
So like I'll be like, hey, Oliver, I know you did, first off, love your blog on real estate. Thank you so much. I learned a lot about that, evaluating different investor real estate deals. And then next, go ahead. Were you going to say something?
I was just saying, people love to be complimented. So
all the time.
Immediately, there's a subconscious seed that you planted.
Yes, exactly.
When you walked in the door, and like if you find a little nugget that they might not have thought that you knew about them, and you said, you know what, I saw this about them, and I just thought that was so cool. Whatever. All of a sudden, their guard is let down.
Yeah.
I
noticed that when people would reach out to me, I learned that like 5 years ago about the compliment. Yeah. First thing, when people would reach out to me on LinkedIn that didn't know me and they first complimented me, I love your content. I love this blog. I love this white paper. I love this ebook you did. I was like, fuck, I want to learn who that is.
Right.
I want to meet him. I was like, you feel so good because you're trying so hard to help a lot of people that for me, the compliment was like, it built rapport.
Well, I mean,
instantly.
You think about when you're looking for, you're in the dating world, and that first interaction you have with somebody. Think sometimes when you give a genuine, sincere compliment, how far that goes. You know, you're opening somebody up you've never met before, and you're going to come up to them and you're going to give them that soft compliment, and it comes from somewhere that's sincere.
You got to do it
changes
sincerely.
The social dynamic of that conversation is going to be set so much different than
So good, so true. I try to find something. Everyone in this world has gone through successes and through failures, through pain, through hardship, through wins, through losses. Like, I'm the only one I'm competing with is myself. Like, I want everyone that I know to be successful, and I want to help you become successful. I'm not competing with you. I want you to build $1 billion real estate practice.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
And if you do that, that has nothing to do with me building Seamless into $1 billion company. Yeah. We can both build $1 billion companies. I'm not competing with you.
If I was $1 million company and you were $1 billion company, I'd be so happy for you.
Yeah, it's like we're doing our own thing.
Doing our own
thing. I want everyone to be successful, and then because I'm successful or you're successful, like we can learn from each other.
Right.
So like the compliment psychologically. Like, I just think that you can find everything there is to know positively about someone. And I've just been through a lot of hardship with my mom passing, with my fiance's mom passing. Fuck, everyone I know around me is like getting cancer and dying. It's sick. So like, I just know like people are going through a lot all the time. And that's why I don't get mad at haters either. Because I just feel bad for the people that hate, because I'm just like, they're going through something bad or they're insecure. They're taking it out on me, and that's okay. I'm in my lane.
That's the other thing is everybody's house is never in order. I mean, we always think, we were just listening to the podcast with, my mentor, Brian Casella, and, he was talking about, you're never going to have everything. Like everybody thinks, okay, let's just talk about you meet your goals. We're making more money. Now I've turned myself into $1 million company or $10 million company. Your problems are just going to actually exponentially get bigger.
Me and my VP of sales
if you don't have your own house in order, meaning inside you, you're never going to be able to handle that type of success. And then you probably won't even reach that level of success because you didn't have your house in order. But let's talk about that, because either it's your finances, it's your health, it's your relationship, it's your family, something.
Your pipeline could be sales, pipeline,
any of that.
Prospecting, closing.
Something is not going to be in order.
Yeah.
But how do you carry yourself externally to the people that are around you? And that's going to tell us a whole lot about who you are. So you have to work on getting your own house in order, meaning like your mind, your body, and your spirit.
Yeah.
If you don't have those things in order, it's going to make everything exponentially harder.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, when you have those times of, when we have this, what we're talking about, those hardships. How hard is that hardship going to be when those things aren't in order within yourself?
My God! If I didn't have my relationship with my fiance in amazing order, like I don't know if I'd be able to do this.
But take that away. Take everything externally in your life in those relationships. I'm talking about you, the Brandon Bornanson, who's inside of you. If you don't have that in order, and when
like my mission and my purpose.
Yeah, your mission, your purpose. Just who you're about.
Okay.
And how you just bring yourself into the world, because the relationship might go, God forbid, but I'm just saying the relationships go south, finances go south, businesses go south. So if one of those things goes south and then you don't have everything else inside you,
got it.
Then you have nothing. You have nothing. End of the day, any of those pillars can collapse. But if you have you, and you're strong in your own mind.
You mean you're like core?
You're
talking like more spiritual.
Spiritually, your inner, like your being. And that's something you always have to be working on. And that's something I didn't work on for the longest time. I neglected. And
you kind of just didn't know your purpose.
I didn't know my purpose, and I'm somebody who's.
Do you know your purpose now?
I do. I do know my purpose.
What's your purpose?
Well, my purpose right now is outside of my business is like you. I feel like I'm gonna have a ripple effect in this world, and there's.
Well, like what about in your business?
Well, in my business, my purpose is I want to be the number one realtor in Columbus. And that is my purpose. I wake up every day with a mindset, and every action I take, how am I going to be the top agent and dominate my market?
I feel like you should be the number one realtor in Ohio.
I mean, maybe I aim too low, and I thought about that.
I think you're aiming too low.
And I could be aiming too low.
Like, I know you, the guy knocking on the fucking door at 21.
Yeah.
That guy could be number one in Ohio.
Yeah.
Like, fuck Columbus. Ohio, number one.
Yeah.
That's the new goal.
Yeah. So
not to interrupt your purpose.
No, that's good though.
And by the way, that's what happens when you hang out with people that fucking want you to be successful. That right there. Yeah. I realize this guy who's got so much goddamn potential, he's fucking shooting for a city number one realtor. I'm like, dude, you should be number one in the state, if not in the region.
Goes back to my goals,
in the country.
Because Brandon's always gonna conquer the world, and so it's like, but that's what I learned from him. Like, your vision sometimes is so big, and you believe in it, and that's kind of like the mentality like you need to have.
Well, because like every time I've raised like really big goals, like you increase the amount of effort, the amount of activity daily. You guys have seen me preach every day so far this week. Daily activity leads to daily results, and let's just say you want to become the number one realtor in Columbus,
right?
And that's $100 million in real estate. Let's just say that. But in Ohio, it's $1 billion. The amount of daily activity to hit $1 billion is 100x bigger than 10x bigger than the 100 million. So like, even if you miss the $1 billion, you're at 800 million versus the 100 million.
It's a good problem to have, and not hitting that goal, right?
Yeah, like, so every time I do the big goals, like I hit them.
Well, actually, and I always preach Gary Keller because I'm a Keller Williams agent. Yeah. He talks about it in his millionaire real estate investment book.
Yep.
And what he talks about though is having those huge goals, because even if you set a goal, but you always want to have a goal just on the almost on the verge of attainability. Like, but it's something that it can be tangible.
Okay.
In your mind, you feel like it might be untangible, but there is a tangibility about it that can be achieved. But if you set your goals that high and you fall just short, you still you actually achieved a level higher than you ever would have if you set your goals lower.
Okay.
So you already passed what probably your normal goals would be, just by reaching and shooting extremely high. Yeah. And I think every entrepreneur and every business owner, every athlete has those aspirations. So they picture themselves, at whatever summit.
It's like massive goal.
Yeah. But you have to have, and you have to, like you said, in your mind every day, you have to actually see yourself there. If you don't see yourself there, you won't obtain it.
Yeah. I write my goals down every day now. In the morning and in the evening. It took me 10 years
it's to do that. It's another thing I'm learning. I love that you're writing goals down. It's something that you have to...
I just started it. So, I used to not do it.
It's called like visualization board.
I think I left the thing in my house. Yeah, I left it because I brought it home with me and I wrote them down.
But subconsciously, when you're looking at those goals in the face every day, and again, it goes back to that purpose. When we keep saying that purpose, by taking off an hour early or dicking around, not doing something that you should be doing.
Yep. You're taken away from the goal.
Taken away from the goal.
Yeah, and I mean with that, so I write down the goal, but writing down your goals is great, but it's not good enough. I'm going to interject a new fucking thing that everyone should do ASAP. To hit the massive goal, what is the daily 7-day-a-week activity that you need to do to hit the goal? Yep. So like, I've never built an 8-figure business. I've never built a 9-figure business. My big goal is 9 figures. Like, I want to build a $100 million in revenue business. I want to positively impact 1 billion people. 1 billion people, that's 9 zeros, 8 zeros, or something like that. No, nine zeros.
Billions, 9 zeros.
9 zeros.
9 zeros.
Yeah. So to positively impact 1 billion people, that's 9 zeros. Like, I want to break down to do $100 million in revenue. What's the daily activity? The amount of leads I need in the funnel, the amount of meetings booked.
So you're reverse engineering.
I reverse engineer the massive goal funnel, and I literally write out top of funnel cold prospects, meetings booked, meetings held, proposals shipped, closed one, the daily activity needed to hit that, and then every day I stare at my goals, the daily activity needed to hit the revenue goals, and then I obsess over how the fuck do I make those numbers a reality every day.
So that's highly detailed, but that's
highly detailed, because you need, what's the action plan? Like you said you had information overload.
Yeah.
Well, like, if you've got the business
I had no plan. I never made the plan.
If you
I
have
took
the
in all the
plan.
information, but I never drew out the plan. And then when you actually start drawing out the plan, then it becomes so much easier. I mean, because it's like it's there, like there's actual a plan and a roadmap to follow it. But then it comes back to the individual. Are you going to take the action? Are you going to, walk the walk and taking that plan? Because, and again, holding yourself accountable. We were talking about social media, and putting your goals out there on social media is a really good way to do it.
Oh my God, I love that. I just started doing that.
Yeah, you're
aggressively.
You do it and just tell people what you're going to do. Because now, when you tell the world, hey, I'm going to to do this,
forces you to do it.
It forces you to do it because you're not going to let all those people down. You're not going to at least try.
Nope.
And people will forgive you if you they rather succeed, try and
succeed,
fail.
or try and fail. I'd rather try and regret than regret not trying at all.
Yeah,
I'd rather try and regret than regret not trying at all.
That would be the most painful thing, I think, and I think about that all the time. I think the most painful lesson I'll ever have in life is if I wasn't to try. 10, 15 years down the road, and you look back, you're gonna be mad at yourself you didn't at least try.
Which is why we had the meeting with the partners tonight for our real estate fund.
Yeah.
How many times have we been talking about investing in multifamily real estate?
All year long, and we kept talking
all year
about
long.
This year.
I think it was like 3 years.
Yeah, well,
we've been talking about doing it for 3 years.
I think 3 years ago we didn't have the capital to do it
because I was all in on
investing in your
Seamless
business, and I was investing in my real estate career. We just didn't have
Chapman
the
Group.
capital yet.
Yeah.
And then fast forward, we're have capital now set aside to be able to do this, and then we started talking about it. But then we were again.
So leveraged with our companies.
But we kept making excuses that we're
I-
busy. But then it's like at the end of the day, it's like just plan for it. If you just plan for it, which we did tonight, we actually put down our action goals for the next 90 days and how we're going to acquire our first property. But like making those action goals, then we can actually start taking action. And in 90 days, we're going to have our first multifamily property under our belt, and then we'll start making another action plan to get the next one. For the next
every
one.
quarter, our goals every quarter acquire 2 to 10.
Oh, so you put it out there. Now we got to do it every quarter.
Every quarter, we're acquiring a multifamily property, 2 to 10 units.
Yep.
And our goal, we said 10,000 units.
Yeah, we said we were
in 10 years or less.
Not 10 years less. We said 15 years.
Now,
10,000.
fuck that. I'm saying 10,000 units in 10 years or less.
Okay, Brandon. Well, I know who my business partner is, so I guess I have to accept that.
Yeah,
so, all right.
We're committing, dude. We're committing. We got it. We can do it. You can do it. I can do it.
Let's do it.
You're the guy that's got to find 10,000
Well, we're gonna fucking do it. So
and we got to figure out how to generate the fundraising to.
Oh, that's where you guys come in.
Yeah, you guys come in.
We'll be talking to you in the future about investing in our real estate fund. So that will be more down the road to come. So, anyways, Brandon, this was really informational, man.
I mean,
gotta get on camera more often with you.
We could wrap this up. I know we were gonna talk about like how do we demo and all that shit and the compliment. But your thing was discovery and qualification. So just to bring it full circle again, because we got totally off topic, and I know you got to run, and I got to get back to work. But the compliment, and then the first thing I do is in-depth discovery.
Yep.
I have 7 questions that I perfected through discovery. They're the same 7 questions that I go through where you learn.
It's so universal because I call these, pre-qualifying questions. So when I have this appointment set on the phone, like I'm already pre-qualifying them. I'm in my discovery mode, so I make sure that we make the best use of my time when I meet them. But then you get ammo from their feedback, so they're going to tell you these things.
They basically tell you what they want to buy.
Right. It's not even that. I mean, they're not only what they want to buy, but then I have to figure out their motivation to buying. I have to figure out if they're even, going to qualify for the financing, or if they're going to be selling houses.
You've got a harder job than I do.
There's a lot of pre-qualifying, and I've learned it the hard way. Trust me, I've worked.
Because you got to do a financing, you got to deal with timelines.
You work with a lot of clients who end up not working out, and it's because you didn't pre-qualify it well enough. Yeah. And I learned that the hard way. But I don't make those mistakes anymore. And it just, again,
what was the biggest thing that you changed in your discovery process before and now?
Well,
what was the biggest gap?
It goes back to my ideal client avatar, because I'm in a commission-based business, and sometimes when
Which
sales,
means you have to hustle the hardest.
you have to hustle, and you want abundance of sales, right? Well, I wanted to work with everybody because I wanted a commission.
Got it.
But then I realized a lot of these people waste my time from actually stopping me from working with the people I know I need to be working with.
Smart.
And they waste a lot of my time. So again, I started building and I got more selective of who I want to work with. And I don't mean it's selective as in...
No, but I mean, like, what was that criteria? Like, go into the detail. Like, what did you change in your avatar that scoped it in the sniper rifle?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
did you change, like, they got to make $250K or more? Like, what did you change?
No, I don't, because I'll help somebody buy a $50,000 house. It was more, again, it goes back to their level of commitment and communication. So, like, if I told them, okay, I need you to speak with my lender this week because, I know that you're 3 months away from buying a house, but we need to start qualifying just because if there's anything that comes up, bad in your credit report or, job history, something that's going to not allow you, when the time comes, and we can fix now,
Yeah.
if people don't want to listen to that, and again, I'm going back to, well, I do this every day for a living, and you're giving me pushback based upon some preconceived notion, or they just weren't really ready, so that doesn't really help benefit me working for them when that time comes. Other things like, what is their motivation for moving? Is it just because, is it through a divorce? Is it because of downsizing? Is it because of first-time home buyers, something? But again, if they tell me the real reason why they're moving, it really helps me prepare to work for them. If they're just don't know what their true, motivations are, it doesn't help me.
Interesting.
Yeah, I kind of led that bad.
No. That was good. That was
Okay.
good. You basically just said before you would talk to anyone and try to work them to close the deal, but then you realize, like, getting them in front of a lender, the people that meet with the lender and get pre-approved are the buyers.
Yeah.
So if they don't want to meet with the pre-approved to be pre-approved or to have the money, they're probably not buyers.
Or I asked them what if you're selling a house, basically what do you want to? What do you think today's market is? I'm trying to qualify them, see if they're even realistic as a seller. But what do you want? What do you want to net when you sell their house? Well, I want to get $250,000. So I'll do some preliminary work. I'll pull up their address and I'll look at some things, and I'll go over for a listing appointment. And this might be a couple of months in advance, but I need to help get their house market ready. Well, if they don't listen to the things I told them to do to help get their house market ready, to get the price that they want,
yeah,
I can't help them when it comes
I
time
feel
to
like
sell.
I would tell them what the price is. I wouldn't even ask them.
Oh, you do.
Because like you're the expert.
But in order to work together, I have to be able to set the price to what the market value is. It is a market. Like real estate is a real market. There's numbers that I look at on a daily.
Because if you
weekly,
ask
monthly
me
basis.
what I think my house is worth, I have no clue.
Yeah, but I know I live, eat, sleep, and breathe
You
the market.
would be able to tell me what is it worth, Oliver.
Yeah. And time is money, so when they're not realistic and their house wants to sit on the market for a while, then it makes me look bad because I let them set the price. And again, I have to be able to set the price. And if we're not going to, and I always give a net to sellers. So if it's not going to work out, if I tell them what I know their house is going to sell for and they want to net more, then I save us a bunch of time. I say, I'm sorry, I can't sell it for that price. I'm real honest with them.
Yeah, I would for sure.
And you'd be surprised how many times they list with somebody else, it doesn't sell, and they call you back and you were right.
Really?
Yeah, that happens all the time.
All the time?
All the time.
Yeah, I bet. How often does that happen?
It doesn't happen like every other deal, but I would say it's happened a good handful of times in my career.
Like 20% of the deals?
Oh, no, less than that. But
like 5%?
Like 5% or something.
Okay, got it, yeah.
And
because I figured it can't be... They got to trust the people that they're hiring as experts.
Yeah, but I will shoot them straight because I have a fiduciary to do that. Other agents sometimes will
just take it.
Well, they'll inflate their ego about their house and, I can sell it for this because they want the listing so bad.
Oh my gosh.
Knowing in the back of their mind, they're just going to give a price reduction. Well, you just wasted their 30, 60 days on the market. Now they're not going to capture what they could have captured with a house that was priced correctly.
Yeah.
Because again,
I would just do the research and tell them the price.
Yeah.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, but I qualify them. I want to know what they think. Like again, if they think, because they're going to combat you about that price. So I know going in how much pushback I'm going to get, and it just helps me prepare for that meeting to close them because I'm going to work with them. I'm going to close them.
Yeah, I would just be like, look, within X amount of radius, here are all the properties that sold. Here's the average price per square foot. This is what
it goes something like that. But we look at the market through the eyes of an appraiser. And,
okay.
So I have to be able to look at the actual style of the house, at the actual condition of the house.
Yeah.
Those mean something.
So you don't just use the average like square foot based on everyone?
No, because it doesn't always work out that way.
You may not have comps.
It gives you a baseline. No, the comps will give you a baseline. But again, houses sell because of price and condition. And there's other little things. Maybe it's backed by a railroad track. Maybe this house across the street is the same house, but it's not by the railroad tracks. Well, that means something.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Every house is different.
Every house is different.
So you can't just use the average price per square foot, because the house that's away from the railroad.
Yeah, and I see literally hundreds of houses a month. So, and I get hundreds of feedback a month. So I know how the consumer thinks about product. And at the end of the day,
every time that he tried to sell my house, I'd give him like a price that was like $100,000 over.
Dude, you were the toughest client ever.
No, because I wasn't selling, but I just knew how good he
thought
could
about
sell.
We've priced your house before.
Yeah, you priced my house before, and I'm like, Oliver, I want this price, and you're like, dude, like everything's sold for $100,000, $150,000 less than that. I'm like,
so
dude, you're the best salesperson. Sell it. It's a hot market. This was when the market was super hot.
It was.
I feel like you could have gotten that number.
But you price if you price it correctly, you create a bidding war, and people want what they can't have. So competition increases.
Do you think we would have gotten any offers at the $150K way over?
Oh no, no. I'm sorry. Well,
and now the market's slowed down.
And we've hit a market correction, and we have a normal market. It's not that it's a bad market. It's just we're hitting more of a normal market. People forgot what that was. So,
dude. So the big goals to wrap it up. I know we talked, and I just gave you advice like cut out your friends, cut out all the bullshit, block the haters, like they're fucking poison. Get the poison out of your life.
Yeah.
And then, what else kind of like, what are your takeaways from being here? Like when we were talking on camera, off camera, like mainly off camera because we talked for like an hour and a half off camera. Like what are the biggest takeaways that you have from our convo?
Well, from today, I think what it goes back to is just get out there and do what you didn't think, or I guess think was possible. I take that back. We were talking about the social media. And I said, look, I'm having a hard time taking the plunge and going into spreading, it's my sphere of influence, on spreading my knowledge, which I know is good knowledge, but I was afraid of the haters. And
they'll hold you back.
Yeah, because we have friends who are like, hey, look at this idiot, who are our own friends, by the way,
on
social media. And they're like, I'm like,
and by the way, that tells you that you got the wrong friends.
It does.
I cut out 95% of my friends. I don't talk to them anymore. And I'm proud of that because they were fucking toxic.
But I would say take the one thing that's holding you back and do it today. Like whatever's
the social media thing you said was holding you back, and I'm like,
I should go home tonight and I'm gonna
post the video. 2 pieces of advice I gave him on the social media. A sales author gave me this piece of advice. He said, Scott Chanel, this is for you, man. Thank you so much because this piece of advice that I asked you years ago when I was reading your book, you said, Brandon, if you want to write a book, write every day. And that was 3.5 years ago. I started writing. I didn't even write every day. It was like once a week, once a month. Yeah. And I'd get like 5 views. Yeah. And then I'd get like 12 views. Then I'd get like 17 views. But like, this is what happens when you just start and you do it every day. It sucks. Everything sucks. When you go to the gym for the first time, it fucking sucks. When you diet for the first time, it sucks. When you write, when you go on video, when you pick up a cold call, it sucks. Everything sucks the first time. When you go on a date for the first time, it sucks. But then it gets a little bit easier. Yeah. A little bit easier. Yep. I remember I would rehearse for 5 hours before getting in front of a camera. 4 years ago, I had a teleprompter, 5 hours trying to memorize and perfect a 3-minute video.
Oh, dude, I
you were over at my house.
Yeah, we did it, and we sat there and we did it over and over
and over again. That was like 4 years ago, and now today I've shot 75 videos. Yeah. Today, 75 videos, no practice, go. That just goes. That's 4 years, right? But it goes to show you daily habits, daily activity, daily improvement. Daily confidence building, you got to just start today. Yep. Post the social media. You know something about real estate. You taught me and Drew and Danielle and Anthony in this room that was off camera. You named 50 different things that you could write a blog post or a video on.
Oh, it would be
the cap,
Yeah, we talked about cap rates.
Cap rates.
How to calculate cap rates.
What is a cap rate?
Yep.
What is it? Why is it important? That's one of them.
Yep.
Different markets. Figuring out if a market is hot or not. Like why single family versus multifamily?
Different locations, single family versus multifamily.
We talked about 50 different things.
Yeah, condos. We talked about the
operations,
condo market, operations,
the property management. Like, but do you see what I mean? You're an expert.
We started digging up stuff that you never even thought came into play, and I could see Anthony's mind. He was like, "Damn, I didn't even think all that was, you know."
Yeah. P&Ls,
yep.
QuickBooks. We're getting a few assets.
The entity, how to define the entity,
how to file an LLC for a fund.
Yeah.
Or an LP, like
how to add investors,
how to fundraise for REEF.
Yep.
We went over so many
REITs,
dude. But yes, yeah. So REITs, REIT, REEF. That's one of IBM Interactive's investment things.
Right.
You're like bullshit.
It's the sandal company.
What was I gonna say? Yeah. Oh my god. Shit, where was it going? Oh yeah, but that just goes to show you, right? Like that's why I'm so obsessed with documenting everything.
Yeah.
Because people don't realize that they're an expert, right?
Dude, I gotta go.
You're an expert at what you do.
Yep.
What is that?
Oh, I gotta go to I got a webinar here in like 25 minutes.
With a mastermind, dude?
Yes, my mastermind.
Cheers, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Tell the viewers who you are and where they can find you.
Yeah, Oliver Chapman with Keller Williams Consultants Realty. I'm here in Dublin, Ohio. So you can find me online. Go to oliverchapman.com, and you can reach me out on Facebook at Oliver Chapman and Chapman Group Realtors. So I look forward to hearing from you guys.
President of Chapman Group helps investors, real estate investors,
yep.
and anyone buying single multifamilies. This is the guy to call. The guy went door-to-door knocking for 5 years, master of sales in real estate now. Hit him up. Thanks again, man.
Yeah, and if you're buying in Columbus, go to search ColumbusAreaHouses.com and register your information. I'll reach out to you.
Cheers, guys. Killer, dude. You see how easy, fast that was?
That's fun, dude.
You know?
Way more of those.
Dude, that's why it's important to document.
Yeah.